Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions, got one right here. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I know a lot of faces out there. Don't ask me to call all your names, but it is good to be. It's good to come back and have a kind of a homecoming like this. I appreciate you taking time to come today, and I hope you found the presentation interesting. And if you don't have a book and you want one, I think we've got a few of them left. I think they sold out the first group, but I think there's still a few left. So, anyway, any questions?
Someone mentioned, how long were you out there in the cold in the Battle of the Bulge there?
Well, about 6 weeks. The Battle of the Bulge run from December 16th, 1944, and it ended, we got the line straightened out on January 26th. I was a replacement, so I didn't get in on the first push of the Germans. They were penetrated our lines about 26 miles, but it was way too long to be out in the cold like that. I was accustomed to doing that kind of work on the farm, you know, and being out in the cold, but you get down a hole in the ground and you can't get out, right? It's pretty cold down there, I tell you that. I see there was another question somewhere.
I had, not a question, a statement. It was mentioned in there about Jim making staff sergeant, E6, in 2 years. That is unheard of today. Normally, even back then, it took 3 or 4 years, and today it takes 5 or 6 years to make E6. So that was probably, recognized his abilities.
Well, there's a lot that needed help. And it probably wasn't because I was so good or so smart. The promotions on the front line come when the leaders above you get knocked off. They died, they get killed, wounded. Somebody has to step up. So, you know, next guy, you get promotion because somebody died or somebody was wounded. So, I mean, it isn't a pleasant situation, but somebody has to take leadership positions up there, and that's the way it works. The guy above you decides who's going to step in and do that.
You got to fill the slots.
You got to fill the slot. That's exactly right.
Jim, did you ever find a job this year being spike pitcher for Thrash and Crew? He called me one day and he said, "Can you find me a job for doing that?"
Well, just before I went to the service, my dad said, I mean, back in those days, neighbors helped neighbors on thrashing crews, you know. Yeah. And of course, I'd worked at the air base over there turned out I was taking fingerprints for employees at the air base, Harrington Army Air Base, which is in full-fledged construction at that time. Well, it was, you know, operation started. They started construction in 1942, the date I graduated out of high school. But anyway, so I took some time off and helped. As Leo says, I was a spike pitcher on a crew of thrashers. Anyway, yeah, a lot of people don't know what a spike pitcher is. That's one that got a pitchfork and you help them load the wagon to go into the thrashers. Yeah.
I was a young boy during World War II. My two uncles, Louis and Ernest Braun, were in the service. And boy, the United States was really unified. It was really behind you folks. I never will forget that as long as I live, how everybody was for us winning the war. It was really something to live during that time.
Really patriotic. Right here in White City, the thing that I remember about that is the bond rallies we had. We were paying for the war as we go.
Yeah.
You know, and you had to buy bonds. You could buy $5 bonds and $10 bonds and $25 bonds, or you could buy $1. You got a little book you could put a stamp in there and get $1.
Kids at school could bring your 10 cents and so on.
Yeah, the school
That's what
kids
we did.
do that.
We did too.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad was an auctioneer, so I remember just before I went to service there at the high school auditorium, this was a bond rally to raise money, and people were donating things to be auctioned off, and Dad was auctioning these off. And the auditorium was full of people, and they were all buying things to support the war, just like you're talking about. It was a patriotic time, a little bit different than today, isn't it? Yeah.
I remember your daddy
Yeah.
that would have an auction. And he would say, it's guaranteed to work, and if it don't work, we take the guarantee off. I was stationed in Germany in 1954, and I was sent to Nuremberg for 3 weeks TDY. And when we got there, they encouraged us not to be out on the streets at night alone. Was it that way when you were there?
Yes. Yes, it was. And there was a lot of them that had flags like this still in the basement, you know.
Oh, yes.
They were, I mean, regardless of what you think of it, a lot of people in Germany believed in Adolf Hitler. And he did do a lot of good. They compared him to President Roosevelt. Roosevelt put in highways, libraries, schools, and they believed in him. But we won the war, so we tried the leaders. I don't know what would have happened if we lost the war. Who knows?
Jim,
Yes.
you got 4 Bronze Stars. Can you tell us how you come by those?
Well, I want to correct that. That's what it says. I was wounded in action, and I'm Purple Heart, and I have 3 battle stars. A battle star is like the Battle of the Bulge. It runs from December 16th to January 26th. Anybody that was in that battle, like Malcolm Strunk, he has a battle star. I got 3 of them. One of them was the Rhine River, was the Battle of the Bulge. One of them was the Rhine River crossing. Yeah. And one of them was Central Europe, where we marched from the Rhine clear to the Elbe River. So, you won a bronze. It said bronze. I got 3 bronze stars, but I had 3 battle stars and 1 bronze star, which is a bronze star is a military decoration for heroic action, is what it says, which is in battle where you help save a life or eradicate a whole platoon of Germans or stuff like that. That's what a bronze star is. Then there's other decorations, but they called them. They should have said battle star instead of bronze star. I did win 3 battle stars and 1 bronze star. Yeah. I don't know if that answers.
Jim,
Yes.
my uncle got a Bronze Star. He was a paratrooper with the 507, and when he was going to drop in Normandy, he came down with appendicitis and had to have surgery. So he missed Normandy. 30 days later, all the guys were back. And we don't know how I've been to St. Louis. We don't know how he got the Bronze Star, but he had it before the end of the war. Is there any chance that he had frostbite so bad from the Battle of the Bulge that he had to go away from his guys? They never saw him again, but was there a chance that when somebody was sent away that they ended up with another unit? Because his sister thought he was in the 101st and also in the 82nd Airborne. That's where he started.
Yeah, that's not unusual. When you get wounded, you go to the hospital, or a lot of them had what today they call PTSD, then we call it battle fatigue. When you see so much of that, body, the mind, the brain can't take it. So they're taken back and spend whatever time they need to get cleared up. And a lot of times they don't go back to their old unit.